The 529 college savings plan is a great plan to save for college, but that wasn't always the case. It's been expanded significantly over the years, so now you can use it for things like K through 12 or for trade schools. And the investment options inside of the 529 college savings plan have gotten way, way better. So I want to go over what you need to do to get started with a 529 college savings plan and when you should start saving into a 529 college savings plan. But before we do, if this is your first time at our channel or you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button at the bottom. My name is Travis Sickle, certified financial planner, helping you reach your financial goals. So starting at the very beginning, when you should start saving into a 529 college savings plan right now. In fact, it doesn't even matter if you have a child or you're pregnant or expecting or adopting. It doesn't matter. You can actually open and fund a 529 college savings plan right now. Now, the trick here is that the 529 college savings plan would be opened by you as the owner and the beneficiary would be your child. Well, if you don't have a child just yet, but you're expecting or you know that you're eventually going to use these dollars, then you can open up the plan in your name, have you as the beneficiary, and then when you do have a child, you can then change that beneficiary. In fact, you can use it for anybody in your family by just changing the beneficiary on the account. So if you have one child that doesn't use it, you can flip it over to another or another family member. This benefit can not only help you save a lot earlier, but it also can help you get a lot more savings by contributing significantly less. So what does this math actually look like? Let me go over a couple of examples. Let's say that you're saving $100 a month at a 10% rate of return over 18 years. That would be $60,000. So you would save $100 per month every single month from the time they were born until the time they were 18. And that would be a total contribution of $21,600. Now that would grow into $60,000. Now let's say that we started just a little bit earlier, a couple of years before you were expecting to have a child. Let's say that we were going to save for 20 years. So we're going to save $100 at that same 10% for 20 years. That would be $75,000 with a total savings or total contributions going into that account of $24,000. So that $24,000 would turn into $75,000. Now, if we look at the difference in those numbers, that's taking only an additional $2,400. Remember, we're saving 2 years earlier at $100 per month. So $100 for the year would be $1,200. So for 2 years, that would be the $2,400. But our total investment grew to $75,000. That means your $2,400 investment turned into $15,000. That's a huge difference by just saving a little bit earlier. Now let's head in the other direction so you can understand how much more you would need to save just by waiting. So let's say that we were saving for just 15 years. So the first example was 18, the second example was 20 years. So we're gonna delay our savings goal to only contribute over a 15-year period. That same investment where we put it $100 per month at a 10% rate of return for 18 years would have to be bumped up to saving $183 per month. So if you started when your child was just born, saving $100 per month at 10% for the 18 years, that was that $60,000 that we talked about in the first example. But to get to that same $60,000, because we waited a few years, we would have to bump that savings up to $183. And if we waited even longer, where we were only saving over a 10-year time frame, we would have to increase that investment or that contribution to $371 just to get to the same amount. Now, the reason I'm pointing out all this math is so you can understand that even if you want to start with a smaller dollar amount, starting earlier will do better for you than actually waiting until you can save significantly more. Now, there are a ton of 529 college savings plans out there. Two of them, the New York 529 plan and the My 529 plan from the state of Utah, both have no contribution minimums. Therefore, you can make contributions into these types of accounts and not have to put a minimum like $50 or $100 that a lot of other types of accounts might have. Now, most 529 college savings plans are really simple to open up, so the whole process is fairly easy depending on what institution that you go to. And you can use any 529 plan in the country that you want. It does not have to be from your state. Now, a couple of things to point out with the 529 plans when you're getting started is if your state has an income tax benefit for the 529 plans, then you might want to look at your own state's plan. But if it doesn't, like the state of Florida has no state income tax. Therefore, there's no added benefit to using the Florida 529 plan versus another state. However, a state like New York does have an income tax benefit to use their own state's 529 plan. So therefore, if you're in the state of New York, you might want to take a close look at the New York State 529 plan. But if you're in the state of California, while they do have a state income tax and they do have a 529 plan, they don't offer any benefits to save into their own 529 plan. Therefore, a resident of the state of California can look around to other 529 plans besides just the state of California. So check with your state to see if they have a state income tax benefit for your state's 529 plan before you make that decision. The next point about getting started with a 529 plan is that if you have multiple kids, open up multiple 529 plans. The reason that you would want to do this, while you can switch beneficiaries and you can move money from one 529 plan to another, you can't do it as often as you'd like. So you want to make sure that each child has their own 529 plan. The other benefit to this is that each donor can contribute up to $15,000 per year or $75,000 one time, which is a 5-year equivalent. So if each donor can contribute $15,000 per year, that means grandparents could each contribute $15,000. Therefore, your mom or dad can contribute into your child's 529 college savings plan a total of $30,000 for each beneficiary. So if you have 2 kids, they can actually contribute a total of $60,000 towards those 529 plans. 529 college savings plans also allow you to save systematically. So you can do it on a per paycheck basis or on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, or you can just do it during the holidays or birthdays as gifting contributions. And some 529 college savings plans have links that you can send out to your friends and family where they can make a contribution into the plan without actually having the account number or any other personal information. And when you're starting a 529 plan, a lot of questions get asked about the what ifs. What if my child doesn't go to college? Well, you can use it for a trade school or you can switch beneficiaries. But if you actually do need to take the money out for things other than qualified educational expenses, there would be an additional 10% penalty on the growth portion that you're pulling out of the 529 plan, and it would be added as income. So it would be taxable as ordinary income coming out of the 529 plan. Whereas if you used it for the qualified educational expenses, it would be tax-free. But if your child gets a scholarship, then you can take the money out of the 529 plan up to the amount that they received in a scholarship. And as I mentioned before, if you don't use the money in the 529 plan, you can change it to one of your other children or another member of your family. So as you can see, there's a lot of benefits to the 529 college savings plan, especially to start early and to save often. If you have any questions on the 529 college savings plans, let me know in the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.